Welcome back. You're listening to the Monday Club on talkSPORT 2. Myself, Ade Oladipo, alongside broadcaster Harry Symeou. A reminder that the live football continues on talkSPORT tonight with live commentary of West Ham's big trip to League One, Derby County in the FA Cup fourth round. We'll have all the build-up from 7 o'clock this evening. But now, looking forward to this one. It's time for some overreactions. Harry, you ready?
Let's do it.
I know you like this section.
Yeah, I do.
I know you like
it's
this.
One of my faves.
All right, here we go. Man City loaning out João Cancelo will cost them the Premier League title.
It might come back to bite them. You know, if they pick up a couple of injuries. João Cancelo's got this amazing ability to play on either side and do it really comfortably. So he's a great weapon to have in your squad. He's a great asset, but as we've mentioned, his form has not been great of late, and it feels to me like something may have gone on behind the scenes, in which case actually removing someone who's having a negative influence might be the right
Bad
move.
apple, right? I think we, aside from him defensively, I think we forget how many assists he got last season, or the assist before the assist, right?
Pre-assist.
The pre-assist. He was fantastic at that. Like, he would go forward, and I mean, everyone talks about Trent and what he does. João Cancelo does probably a bit even more on that side. So I think they lose that as well, because they've clearly dropped off a bit. Bernardo Silva's not really been sort of firing. Kevin De Bruyne is Kevin De Bruyne, but he's certainly dropped off a couple of % as well. So I feel like they lose a playmaker rather than just a defender there.
Yeah, because he loves to drift into midfield as well. Obviously, we talk a lot about inverted fullbacks. João Cancelo is one of the best at doing that, drifting in field, becoming part of a midfield pivot. It allows him to step forward. It allows him to help out those in the middle of the park and be creative from that area, not just in the wide areas.
Yeah. All right, this one's going to be interesting. Really looking forward to your answer in this one. Eddie Nketiah will still be Arsenal's first choice striker, even when the great Gabriel Jesus returns from injury.
No, that's not going to be the case.
You think so?
He's not going to be Arsenal's first choice striker. But
would he be dropped then? Drop's the wrong word, isn't it?
Yeah, dropped is the wrong word. Replaced is a better way of putting it. What we've got now is we've got a situation where Arsenal have a competent centre forward currently filling the void left by Gabriel Jesus.
Bit more than competent.
Yeah, okay, he's great. Yeah. He's good. He's good to watch. But what you've got to realise is that what this means for Arsenal is that, no, it's not when Jesus comes back, kick Nketiah out and throw Jesus back in, but it means you can allow Jesus to have the time he needs to get back to fitness properly without that pressure of, oh my God, my team don't have a striker, I have to rush back. And that's a great place to be.
How's Nketiah going to feel? And look, Jesus, we're hearing a couple of weeks, 3 weeks away potentially. How's he going to feel if he still continues this run that he's on? Like, surely it's almost, isn't it a case of when someone's hot, you keep them hot? Now, when they're on fire like Nketiah is right now, you persist with him regardless if Jesus is the bigger name, no?
Yeah, but when you think about when the Europa League kicks back in as well, and you look at Arsenal's fixture schedule, they're probably going to be playing games something like every 4 days. Yeah. And, you know, I keep saying this, Arsenal's level in terms of the points returns and how they've performed so far, with this squad, it's not sustainable. Like, you need options, you need depth. He needs to be able to rotate without it being a massive drop-off in quality. And centre-forward is one of those areas a lot of people were concerned by. Instead of putting loads of pressure on Eddie Nketiah and instead of proclaiming him as the best striker at Arsenal, we need to forget about that. We need to stop that, and we need to just be happy that we've got 2 strikers now that you can rotate between, and the level in terms of output is not that different. Jesus in the build-up is a much better player than Nketiah, but Nketiah scores more goals than him, sort of goals per minute when you look at the ratios. So they both bring something slightly different to the team, but it's just good to have multiple options.
Very quickly on Nketiah, I asked Rory this question when he was last in, which feels like about a year ago. I was like, surely when Gareth Southgate named his next England squad, Nketiah's name should be on that too. Surely. Has he not done enough to warrant an England call-up?
Well, if people are talking about the likes of Ivan Toney, for example, then you can't ignore what Eddie Nketiah is doing, because he's replaced one of the best strikers in the Premier League.
Top of the table.
They're top of the table. Yeah. He's scoring goals with regularity. He's earning admirers with every passing week. There's no reason why he shouldn't be in the competition. He's also the record goal scorer for the England under-21s, which a lot of people don't seem to talk about as well. Yeah. So why wouldn't he be in the conversation?
And Gareth's always prided himself on looking at players from beneath. Like,
it's a natural progression, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Smash it in the 21s. The next step is the senior team.
Best team in the Premier League. Surely that means a call-up. For me, it would be Harry Kane, Rashford. Ivan Toney's obviously got the issue. It would be Nketiah. I'd have him. I'm not joking. I'd have him in the England squad before Callum Wilson, which I know will pee a lot of people off. Next one. Liverpool will finish outside of the top 8 in the Premier League this season.
I think that's a bit of an overreaction at this stage.
That's the name of the game. That's the name of the show.
Yeah, it is a bit of an overreaction to sort of say that with any kind of conviction at this point. Yes, they've had a rubbish start to the season. Yes, their level has dropped. Yes, I don't think that Jurgen Klopp knows what his best team is anymore. Yes, I think some of the players that he's trusted for a number of years have started to lose their legs a little bit, have started to turn onto the decline. I get all of that, but there's still enough quality and enough players in there that can make the difference in big moments. The Salahs, people like that, they've still got that. The Thiagos. There's no reason why they can't put a little run together, a 6-7 game run at some point, which will propel them up the table quite significantly. That's the nature of this division, right? There's Brighton up there at the moment. There's Fulham up there at the moment. I would bet on Liverpool finishing above those two sides, even at this point. So I can't sit here and say that Liverpool are definitely finishing outside the top 8. I'm not having that.
The only way Liverpool, for me, stay in the conversation for a top 8 spot is if they get knocked out by Real Madrid and play one game a week. I think if Liverpool have to somehow balance a Champions League run as well as the Premier League, I just don't think they will. Sean Dyche will comfortably keep Everton up this season.
I don't know about comfortably. I think he probably will keep them up. I think there'll probably be a little bit of a bounce because Sean Dyche will get the basics right. I mean, you look at the two centre-halves that Everton have at the moment, they're made for Sean Dyche ball. Do you know what I mean? One is a Sean Dyche player, that's
isn't
it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. He's got the tools, I think, that he needs to at least make them tight defensively. And I just think that in terms of squads, there are worse teams in the Premier League than them. I talk about new manager bounce. Obviously, they play Arsenal at Goodison Park at the weekend, so I'm hoping that there's a little bit of a delay to the new manager bounce. But I think it's a good appointment for the now, not necessarily the appointment that's going to take Everton up to where they want to be, though, which is ultimately top 8, top 7. I don't think Dyche will ever get them there. But I think for now, given its panic stations, actually it's quite a smart move.
Right, final one. And this, I think, I would like this to happen just because I'm a big admirer of what the club's doing. Brighton will win the FA Cup this season.
No, can't see it.
No.
Man City are still in it. Man United are still in it. Spurs are still in it. I think there's too many good teams still in the competition. And again, like a lot of clubs, Brighton, they're chasing Europe supposedly. That's why they don't want to let Moises Caicedo go, we keep hearing. But they're not going to be able to focus on, both at the same time, given the squad they have, in my view. And you got to remember as well, up until this point, the FA Cup has had dedicated weekends. Going forward, that's no longer the case. So those FA Cup ties are going to start being shoehorned into midweek fixtures and stuff like that. And then the demand becomes more.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, we were saying this basically before the Caicedo. He goes, they certainly ain't winning the FA Cup.